question. I have not been in the forefront of politics. I came to politics, in my 30s, and my politics are around issues, and the issues that I understand are not economic. I work with young people. I work with adolescents. I work on the issues of violence against women. It would be clumsy for me right now to try to give my opinion about what went wrong in this country economically. I mean, one thing that comes to mind is you can't wage a war for as long as we did in Iraq and not tax it. We're paying for it without taxing it, so that people would swallow that bitter pill. That was one thing that was that went wrong and that really messed up the economy. But I have a hard time understanding the economic situation. I try. I look at wonderful documentaries like Too Big to Fail and things like that. I find it very confusing and disturbing. All I know is that when you have soldiers coming back from war, when you have people graduating with high degrees and none of them can find jobs, in a country that promises that if you play by the rules, that you're going to be able to own a house and send your children to college and do okay. This is going to cause real deep problems in our country, and we're going to have to stop trying to be objective and start telling the truth, and it has to start with the media, in my opinion.
Are you blaming me there, Jane?
I don't know you well enough. I might. The media in general,
though. The media has been complicit?
I think it's been quite complicit. I think, there's such an effort to be objective rather than really looking at underlying truths and telling them, even if it might affect the ratings. Everyone's worried about the short term. If only we could become a country where people who influence our consciousness and influence our politics and the politicians themselves stopped thinking short term and began thinking long term. I wish that we had those kind of human beings in office, and there are some, but not enough. We need more long-term thinkers.
Ron Paul.
When you look at the Republican race and you see these debates with all the candidates and so on, what do you make of the intellectual level of those debates? Who impresses you and who scares you?
They all scare me, frankly. I get depressed and scared when I look at the Republican debates.
Even someone like a Newt Gingrich or a Mitt Romney, do they scare you?
I'm worried about anybody getting elected to office who says we have to do away with or privatize Social Security, we have to reduce medical health insurance, we have to not raise taxes. I don't think that we can get out of the problem. And, there's no problem with the environment. This is all made up by the left. The scientists don't really know what they're talking about. This worries me. I think this is an example, especially I'm thinking about the environment now, of people people becoming ideological rather than understanding that there are some people who are experts, and there's a lot of them, and they're saying we are in dire trouble. This is our life support system, this planet, and if we don't do something about clean air, and I'm unhappy with the Democrats too, it's not just the Republicans, but this should be a top priority, so they all worry me, because I don't think that they're really telling the truth, or maybe they just don't see the truth about what's happening to us. We have to tax the rich, we have to help people who are struggling. We have to do everything we can to create jobs for the people who are able to work. We have to help children become educated so that we have a workforce that's going to be productive in the future, and we have to do everything we can to save the planet.
What do you think of Barack Obama?
I hope he gets reelected.
I hope
wish
not.
That he would be stronger. I think he will be in his second term. I think he's going to be reelected. I think that he's I think he's a good man, but I wish that he was tougher on the issues that I care about and that a lot of people care about.
A lot of people say about President Obama that he's a very nice guy. People like him. He's clearly intelligent. He's a great figurehead for America abroad. There's no question of that. And I've seen that tangibly in Europe and Asia and so on. Where the criticism comes is that this paralysis we're seeing in Washington in particular, a lot of that, they say, is down to Barack Obama wanting to be Mr. Nice Guy and get on with the Republicans, when politics isn't like that. He should have flattened them early on and forced through what he really believed in.
If he is able to. I mean, I'm old enough to have remembered the time when people were friends across aisles, you know, Republicans and Democrats, especially during Lyndon Johnson's administration. You know, they would play cards and drink together, and they were friends, and they would compromise. There was a civility in the body politic, and that seems to be gone. And, you know, I think that Obama has tried to reach out. And I think that the other side is really intransigent. I'm not sure. I don't know whether there's anything he could have done differently. I hope that I'm wrong, but we feel like we're at some kind of a terrible, terrible impasse, and I don't know how to open the logjam, but it needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon.
I mean, it seems there's a very big disconnect now between Washington and the regular American people on the streets. When you watch the Occupy Wall Street protesters, what they're really protesting about is a general malaise, I think, as much as anything else, about the way the political process is stifling their lives, and nothing's getting done to improve their lives.
Well, they're protesting greed. I mean, greed is poisoning our country.
Yeah, but why? Why does that happen? America never used to be associated with greed. I mean, it wasn't part of the culture.
I can't answer the question.
What are your suspicions, Telly?
I don't know. I'm not going to go there because I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to answer the question of why greed has risen to this level in the last several decades. I don't know what it is that has caused a very, very extreme right wing to be able to, because I think that they're responsible for the impasse. I don't entirely understand why it's true. But, you know, your original question was, am I scared? I'm scared. Yes, I am.
Bush, Bush, Bush.
Well, let's try and lighten the load a bit of your terror, Jane. We're going to take a little break.
I didn't say I was terrified.
All right, you're moderate disquiet. But let's talk movies after the break.
So, this was the break. Okay. I just put this off. So this was Amsterdam Calling. Just to finish.